Hey everybody, Joy here. It's Tuesday on March the 10th, 2020. And I'm sure about the date because tomorrow is my baby brother's birthday. I figure he's going to be about 61 if I'm 69 because I was 8 years old when he was born. And I had two sisters. One was 1 year younger, one was 3 years younger. So I had three big sisters. And Mother brought him home from the hospital. We couldn't figure out where she got him. But as far as we were concerned, she brought us all home a living doll, a little baby boy doll. And everybody wanted to play with him and hold him, and I couldn't. My mother wouldn't let me get near him because I had a bad cold. So I was the last one that got to hold my baby brother. But anyway, he doesn't watch my videos. None of my family watches my videos. So anyway, I sent him a card. Are you ready for a whale's tale? I have created the biggest quilt in the whole wide world. I think. No. I guess there's one in Missouri that's absolutely huge. Giant quilt that is in front of a museum or something. But anyway, for me, this is the giantest quilt I have ever made in my whole life. This is it. I don't know if I showed you when I was doing it on the long arm. It's roses. Can you see the roses? It's really pretty, really pretty. So here's the deal. The deal is, I wanted bedspreads, not quilts, for these electric beds. Because when you have an electric bed, if you put a bed skirt on it, the bed skirt's going to go up and down and up and down, and it's going to get folded and wrinkled and messed up, and it's never going to look good. So I wanted a bedspread. Well, nowhere on the planet was there a bedspread that was the right measurement, or that I liked, or that would look good. So I decided to just make, I have a long arm. Hello, how hard can it be? Just make a bedspread, right? So anyway, I took one of the pillows off of our king-size bed. This was 2 years ago. And Jerry went with me because we were going to look at decorator fabric. So we went to JoAnn's to look at decorator fabric, and they had it all 50% off. So I had this pillow, and it had this color in it, and we were trying to find something the exact color of the pillow. And so this was the only decorator fabric they had. There's some marks on this, but they're going to come off. This was the only decorator fabric they had that was the right color that matched the pillow, which is also the fabric that's hanging on our windows in our bedroom. So we bought this, and we bought the whole bolt of it, but it was 50% off, so it was a real good deal. But it's not cotton. It might be cotton, but it's a suede. It's like a fuzzy suede. I've washed it, and I've dried it. So it's heavy. It's heavy. I had no idea it would be this heavy. So heavy all by itself, add the batting to it, add the backing to it, and this thing weighs a ton. A ton. I had it folded up, and I had it sitting on the floor in the dining room, formal dining room, for at least a year. Jerry says it's been there 1.5 years. Because I knew it was going to be like wrestling a tiger, wrestling an elephant. Trying to square it up, measure it, make it fit just right. I made it wider than it needed to be and longer than it needed to be because I didn't know how much the quilting would shrink it. So, I kid you not, Jerry helped me for 3 hours. Downstairs, we spread it out as far as we could on the floor. But there's, a piece of furniture here and a couch here and a table here, and there's nowhere where it's that big of just floor. So we had to partially roll it, and oh my gosh, we're both down on our hands and knees. It just was an unbelievable job. And we measured, 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 and we measured. Finally, we got it perfectly square, although it's a rectangle. You know what I mean, with square corners. So then I thought, oh my gosh, I do not want to put a binding on that. How on earth will I ever put a binding on that? And I had a quilt made 21 years ago for our bed, and I had taken it to a place that had long arms and did it for me. And what they had done was they had just folded up the bottom of it and hemmed it. So I thought, oh my gosh, I can do that. That's easy. So I've got a video to show you. The back of it is so ugly. The back of it was white. The only backing I could find that was wide enough for this giant king-size quilt bedspread was Missouri Star Quilt Company, and it only came in white. So I thought, oh, no problem, I'll dye it. So I bought 2 bottles of dye that looks like this color. If I held the color up, you would think it was this color. The lid, you know, the color. No. It turned out this ugly color. And it did not dye good. It's spotted, speckled. Part of it looks like it's way, way old. Jerry said, that looks like an antique. I said, oh, well, we'll just say it is and people will think it's valuable. So the back is horrible. But anyway, Jerry helped me and helped me get it through the serger so I could serge all the sides of it. Then I have one side that I have folded under 1 inch and sewn down with my sewing machine. So I have one side that's hemmed. Okay? So Jerry said, well, he wants to go fishing. But I said, oh, I want to finish this. I want to finish this. And I can see here where my thread broke, and I didn't get it lined up too good, but who is ever going to care? He wanted to go fishing, and I said, oh, I need to finish this. Well, after I got that one side pinned up, first thing I did, was I put the pins in. Y'all think I know so much, believe me, I know so little. I stuck the pins in this way at first. And the way I was going to have to sew it, I was going to have to pull the pins out going up as I got to them. Well, that's not going to work. You know that's not going to work. So my lightning fast mind, I decided to put the pins in like this, and it's only 1 inch hem, and stick them out like that. So here we've got these sharp, sharp pins sticking out all up and down this side. Well, as we're putting it through the sewing machine, the side of this is going along my waist, and it's going along my arm, and it keeps poking me. It grabs my shirt and pulls it off of me. It grabs my skin, grabs my arm. So as we went, we had to take the pins out and stick them in like that. So if they got on my body, the head part would be what scratched me. So, oh my gosh, talk about lessons learned. I've learned 1,000,000 lessons today. And now I have to make another one. You know, we bought Boo Bear and Lauren a king-size bed. And it's one of those up and down beds. It's a Tempur-Pedic up and down bed. So I decided, because this matches really good, to put this on their bed. And now I'm going to start over and make another one for our bedroom, for our king-size Tempur-Pedic. This is an insert. I just took the camera off the tripod, and I was going to download my video into my computer, and my lightning fast mind kicked in, you know, always when I least expect it, and it dawned on me. I didn't even tell you when I started the video to tell you. Yes, I have the monster quilt. Yes, my husband helped me for 3 hours on the floor measuring. But not only did he do that, he came upstairs with me to be my holder and my regulator of the gigantic quilt while I was serging it all the way around. And I took a video of that. Here it is. Is this my last row? This is wonderful. Now you have to be careful when it goes over the cliff that it doesn't run into the camera. Last edge of a quilt that is 120, what is 63.5 twice?
130.
130 by 53.5 twice.
63.5 twice? It's 127.
127 by 100 and something, 104. I'm on my last side. We have been working on this quilt 3 hours.
1,000 square inches.
This is decorator fabric. It's kind of a suede, and it's heavy, and it's got the batting and the backing, and it is one heavy object. So my husband has been helping me. We have been down on our hands and knees on the floor in the dining room. You know, my yellow brick road that's white. And we have been measuring to try to turn this into a square rectangle. A rectangle with square corners.
There you go, not a square rectangle.
A square
No
rectangle.
such thing.
I didn't know how I was going to finish it. I did not want to do binding. So, my lightning fast mind remembered I have 3 sergers in this room. And Jerry came up here to help me hold it. Praise God. All right, here we are, wrestling this monster king-size bedspread. Jerry had already spent 3 hours crawling around that hard tile floor downstairs with me, with 2 measuring tapes, my new ruler with the handle on it, a roll of masking tape, and 3 different colors of friction felt tip markers. Oh my goodness, what a job it was. And then I begged him to come upstairs and help me do this, and he was precious. He moved the heavy machines around for me. And we had this all folded up real neatly at first to go across the table. We're on the 4th side here, and we didn't care if it was folded up or not. Like, let's get this done. My shoulder was so sore. So sure, so sore. I kept lifting it up, hiking my shoulder up to hold the quilt. Oh my goodness, what a sweetheart he was. I got to do something special for him now. Oh, Bernhardt, look at this. Look at this. Oh my God, I'm almost done. Oh my goodness. How long's that been sitting on the floor? 6 months?
Longer than that,
6
about a year and a
months.
half.
A year and a half? No way.
Yes, it
I'll have to
has.
look back at my videos when I had this on the
I
floor.
guarantee you it's been there longer than 6 months.
If the camera can see. This is the serged edge all the way around. I just followed the line that we drew on it. We measured from the centers out all the different ways to get it square. So I cut wide edges off. And as I said, it's the roses. The roses. All right, how about that for a husband? End of insert. So anyway, other than that, look what's on the wall. Can you see? I've got the blue houses all done. And I'm up to the applique sections. There's applique all over it, and I'm up to that, but I'm too tired today after wrestling this monster whale of a bedspread. But it will be worth it all when I get it on the bed, and it'll be so pretty, huh? I'm going to be going up to Edmond with Jerry this coming weekend because his barn's supposed to be all done this week. And as long as we own that house, we've decided we need to go up there at least once a month and, you know, make sure it's still there. So you'll see me sewing there for a while. Then on the 18th, there's some kind of class at Be Sew In. And it's only a 3-hour thing. So I think I'm going to go to that. And then we'll come back here. And then, I don't know what we're going to do after that. Does anybody out there have the Quilt Path? Do any of you have a Millennium Long Arm and the Quilt Path software? If you do, I sure would love to know you and be your friend. Because I've got the upgrade for it, and I have gone through, let me show you this. This many papers are the directions to the upgrade, to put the upgrade on your tablet. The one that has the software for quilting out quilt patterns on my long arm. I'm almost afraid to upload it because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I don't know how to use it anymore? So I think I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to put my feet up for a while and I'm going to recover from making this. But oh my gosh, it sure is pretty. And you know, it's like having a baby. You know, once you get something completely done, you don't remember. You don't remember all the hassle. You don't remember all the time. You just enjoy the project that you've made. Yeah. Like the pants. This is the 10th. 5 more days. 5 more days to get your pants pictures uploaded to Instagram. And then that'll be the 15th. On the 16th, we will announce the winners of all the Sure Fit Designs prizes that Glenda's given away. So, and then after that, I don't have any plans for any sew-alongs or any contests or any challenges. There's so many people doing it now. It's like every time I turn on my computer, it's somebody else is doing a challenge or a sew-along. So it's like there's enough, you know, there's already enough out there. Now I'll tell you one thing, there is kind of a catastrophe going on because I'm at my Kingston house, and when I'm here at my Kingston house, I live in the woods, and there's no JoAnn's and there's no Hobby Lobbies. I have to drive an hour to get to the nearest Hobby Lobby and JoAnn's. And this week, Hobby Lobby has McCall's Patterns for $1.99. So I called Terry, and she was just leaving town today to go to Albuquerque. She and her husband are both preachers. And so they're always going to these preacher conference things. And so they have this preacher conference thing in Albuquerque. And for those of you who are new and you don't know Terry, before Terry got her own long arm, she used to come over here all the time. And I taught her how to quilt, and I taught her how to use a long arm on my long arm. And so there were lots of videos in the beginning of Terry over here. So she is my neighbor and one of my BFFs, and she's the redhead. If you look back and you see me with this redhead friend, that's Terry. So anyway, she couldn't go, and I don't like to go by myself. I don't know why. It's just such a long way, and I always think, what if I got a flat tire or something? I mean, Terry's so tough. She could get out and change the tire. It wouldn't even faze her. I'd be going, I'm calling my husband and making him drive all the way down there to save my life from a flat tire. So anyway, I hope he catches his big fish. It's a really pretty day, and he's down there on the big pond all by himself, and he's trying to catch the big fish that got away last time he was down there. If he catches it, I'll show you a picture of it in this very video, okay? I don't have anything else to say. I didn't have very much to say to start with, did I? Which is unusual. Well, I've been kind of, you know, life is so up, down, up, down, up, down. You've seen me up, down, up, down, up, down lately. Well, I had another up, down yesterday. Jerry has this this automatic blood pressure thing, and you wrap this thing around your arm, and it's got this long black cord, and it's got this little box, and you push the button on the box, and it puffs up and it sucks your arm half to death until you think it's going to fall off, and then it takes your blood pressure. Well, he takes his blood pressure every morning and every night because his doctor wants him to do that. And he's not on the pills anymore, and so I guess they just want to make sure he doesn't need the pills anymore. So, I don't know why, just one night last week, out of the blue, I just said, hey, come take my blood pressure. Unfortunately, I said that. So he took my blood pressure, and it was really, really high. I said, oh, that can't be right, that can't be right. I've always had really low blood pressure. I've had blood pressure like 90/60, you know, a few years back. So anyway, it came out really high, like 170 something. And I said, well, that can't be right, that can't be right. My blood pressure's never been, mine's always like 135, 140 at the most. So we took it again, and it came out 170 something again. And I mean, this is at night, I'm sitting in bed, I'm reading y'all's comments, he's watching basketball, there's nothing bad happening, nothing going on. I mean, there's just no reason for me to have high blood pressure, right? So, he was going to the doctor, our GP, because he goes to see her every once in a while to have his blood test done because he's been trying to lower his cholesterol. So it was time for him to go have that test done. So I said, and we have the same doctor, and I said, I'm going to go to the doctor with you. I said, I want a real person to take my blood pressure. I don't trust that goofy machine of yours. I want a real person to do it. Well, what do you think my blood pressure was when the doctor took it? I thought the doctor was going to faint. She took it twice. She took it twice. Now, they used to take it twice because it was so low. She took it twice. It was 180 over something. She went nuts. She said, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So I've been kind of down because of that. So we're working on getting my blood pressure normal, but nobody knows why, except for this one thing in my life that causes me great stress, you know, a family member problem. And I told her that was all I could think of, that it kept me upset most of the time. And so they consider that like a stress thing, I guess. And stress can cause high blood pressure. Well, that and the government, the stock market. Let me see, how many things shall we put on the shelf? Well, that's all right. They can all come down as fast as they went up. I'm going to let you go. I've talked too long. I'll be back soon.